Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your least favorite What If creator, Jay What Ifs, back at it again with another banger. Part 2 to What If Deku was Kurama's son. I don't got much to say. I know I saw y'all's love on the Thanksgiving post. Happy late Thanksgiving. It's December. I hope y'all are seeing wonderful snow. I hope y'all are staying warm and staying safe. Well, I guess with enough of my yammering so far, without further ado, let's get into What If Deku was Kurama's son, Part 2. So the screen fades from black, and we see Melissa and Deku walking up to UA. This time he doesn't really trip up, and he doesn't slip or trip or fall. So he walks into UA, and whenever he's walking up, Bakugo actually sees Deku at the entrance exam, and he's just fuming. He's just fuming. He's at this entrance exam in the first place, being a quirkless nobody and with a beautiful girl he's never seen before. He has him fuming. He's like, nah, what the heck is this? So, Deku and Melissa, they do amazing on this test. They study together, they prepare for it, And I would see Melissa and Deku splitting up, Melissa going to her support course study, and Deku going to the practical course. So we get to the physical portion, and Deku walks up to the gate and is like, okay. And using his chakra, he walks over the wall, jumps down, and starts hitting the robots. Mike then says, and everybody's just complaining oh, he's cheating, blah, blah, blah. And Mike then says, there's no countdown in a real battle. Go, go, go. Follow that kid's lead. Then Izuku, with a head start and with his chakra control, speed, and strength, easily gets a score of at least 120, getting first place. Now, whenever this is happening, I could see what he does is using fire, using earth, using wind. He's slicing the robots, he's crumbling the robots, he's burning them, he's melting them. I could see he's kind of just dog walking this exam, for lack of better term. I'll give you all a little bit of something. I could see him using on one of them, the Great Fireball technique. He goes snake, ram, monkey, boar, horse, tiger, Great Fireball, melting one immediately. Or even the wind slash that he used on that sludge villain. Or even doing putting them into the ground and just crumbling the earth around them. I could see really any of those things happening. Now, for the 0-pointer, I could see Deku just seeing it and being like, that's not really my job to deal with. One of the pro heaters will stop it. Because, honestly, he doesn't really care. I mean, him growing up with so much training makes him kind of borderline emotionless towards other people. I mean, he doesn't really care if somebody gets hurt from this, because all he knows is that he wants to be a part of the hero course. So, then, after the exam, Melissa and Deku meet up at the entrance exam, and all of a sudden, Bakugo actually walks past him trying to shoulder check Deku, but only to realize, he didn't move. He didn't move a single inch. It felt like he shoulder checked a brick wall. And then Deku just says, if you're gonna be jealous, do it to someone else, Kachan. Don't waste your jealousy on me. The two then keep walking, leaving Bakugo behind. This fumes Bakugo. He's just fuming. He cools down. He eventually cools down, realizing he's just a quirkless nerd. But that thought continuously remains in his head about how they used to be friends and how before this they got along, He shakes it off, though, walking away. Then we get a 2 weeks time skip. In this 2 weeks time skip, we see Melissa and Deku hanging out. They go to the arcade. They go to the mall. They even run on the beach, walk on the beach, And in this 2 week time skip, we see Deku gaining feelings for Melissa. Now, we see both of their letters coming in the mail. They both have All Might pop up saying that they got into the respective courses. Deku going to 1A, topping at the top of the class, and Melissa going to the top of the support course because of how well she did on the exam and how amazing her gadgets did. So, All Might then says, Izuku Midoriya, I'm very impressed that you got top marks. All of the teachers are very intrigued by you. As well, Melissa, you will be a huge asset for the future of all pro heroes. Thank you so much for taking part of this course, and I can't wait to see you all on Monday. Then the hologram goes to black. The rest of the night they celebrate. They go out, get some ice cream. They go to dinner. The next day they put their uniforms they got in the mail on and they go to school. Melissa and Deku, they on the way to school, they go to a small coffee shop and they walk to UA. They run into the big three, Mirio, Tamaki, Nejire. Mirio, Deku just dap each other up. And I'm talking clean. It goes, wow, 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 wow. And it just reverberates. Every head is turned. Dang, that was crisp. And Tamaki and Deku, they look at each other and they're like, yeah, what's up? They don't have many words for each other, but Nejire actually comes in and hugs Deku. Then we see a flashback of all four of them actually meeting up and training together. See, Mirio had invited them to come train because they were the big three. They were often teaming up, so they wanted to be in close links, And this is where Nejire met Deku. And Nejire hugs him, and he hugs her back oh, yo, it's been a minute. Then Deku can just sense the emotion coming from Melissa of just pure jealousy. He quickly breaks the hug and him and Melissa, then Deku walks Melissa to class, then he goes to class himself. They walk into the scene of Ida yelling at an angry Bakugo for no reason. He's putting his feet up on the desk and they're both yelling at each other. It's just a full screaming match. Deku just rolls his eyes and he throws away his empty cup. He walks behind the desk and he's just like, yo, Teach, do you want me to shut them up? They're so annoying. Aizawa wakes up slightly and being like, I know, they're annoying. And he's like, I'm surprised you noticed me. And then Deku, and Aizawa's just thinking there, he's like, I mean, it wouldn't be bad to be a little late to class and catch a little bit more sleep. And Aizawa's like, no, it's fine. I'll get up soon. And Deku's just like, alright man, I was just asking. It seems like you haven't been sleeping well, if at all. Then Deku walks to the back of the class and he just sits down, putting his headphones on, not really caring. The entire class walks in and is so loud. Deku gets up, walking without anyone noticing. He walks to the front behind the desk, telling Aizawa that he'll just meet them outside since that's what he figured they'd be doing anyways. These guys are annoying because he had seen the gym uniforms, and whenever he walked behind the desk, he had seen the itinerary that they were going to go out and have a quirk assessment test. He then grabs his size of gym uniform and he walks out. The only person noticing would be Bakugo, which he would actually follow him, sneaking out without anyone really noticing other than Kirishima, but they wouldn't really care because they don't really know him yet. So they both walk into the locker room, they both start changing, and Deku just with his back turned, just like, what's up, Gashan? You decided to follow me? And Bakugo goes, yeah, what's it to you, you damn nerd? And Deku's just like, nothing. I'm just surprised you followed me. Deku takes his shirt off, revealing his scars and his ripped upper body from the year of the long lifespan of changing, and he changes into his shirt, changes his pants, and Bakugo does the same. Bakugo noting this, but honestly doesn't really care. I mean, he hasn't cared about Deku ever. Why would he care now? So Bakugo and Deku both wait outside. Deku just putting his headphones on and being quiet, not really caring. Bakugo just does the same. He doesn't really want conflict for once in his full life. He doesn't scream, he doesn't do anything, he's just chill. Aizawa walks outside, telling them both to lock in and take their headphones off. They both listen, Aizawa looking at the two, knowing they're just going to be problem children and blah blah blah. The rest of the class arrives. Bakugo actually gets pulled away by Kirishima, Denki, and Mina, who all just talk and they all just do their own thing. Deku just stands off to the side, texting Melissa, leaned against the wall, just not really caring. Then, out of nowhere, Aizawa's just like, okay, since you're all out here, Izuku Midoriya, would you please step in this circle? And he tosses him the ball, and Deku's just like, huh? And Deku steps in the circle and is like, what's up? And Aizawa says, since you got number 1 for the practical exam, I want you to throw the ball as far as you can, using any means necessary, just don't leave the circle. Bakugo's like, wait, he got number 1? And Izuku takes the ball and he just tosses it up and down in his hand, and he's just like, you said anything, right? And Aizawa's just like, yeah, I could not care less. He tosses up the ball and he makes the hand signs ram, boar, horse, bird, and he claps his hands together, pumping as much chakra as he can. And into the wind release. Then he enhances his strength in his arms with his chakra. He then gets into a throwing stance. Like, you guys know Midorima from Kuroko no Basket, how he just goes into the shooting stance and he shoots. He does that, but with a ball. Or with a baseball. He catches the ball and he mid-air and mid-throw, and he launches it. The machine ends up reading 1,200 meters. Everyone starts cheering and saying how fun this is going to be. Deku just walks out of the circle, just palm on his face, just like, oh my gosh, y'all are stupid. Aizawa then says that the last place will be expelled if they think it's going to be so fun. And then the rest of the tests go about as following. The 50-meter dash, Deku, using two of his clones that use the Gale Palm, force him forward so fast that he ends up actually just barely beating Ida, getting first place. The grip strength, I can imagine him getting better in canon because of the pumping chakra through your muscles and enhancing them. But I honestly don't see going anything crazier than in canon. Long jump, he would clear the sandbox like Bakugo. It wouldn't be crazy, but he would clear the sandbox completely. Side steps, he would do better than in canon, but again, nothing crazy. Sit-ups, same thing. Seated toe touch, same thing. The distance run, he would do extremely better in canon due to his trained speed and stamina, plus pumping the chakra through his body. So the rankings would actually go as followed. Momo, Uraraka, Todoroki, Koda, Bakugo, Sato, Ida, Midoriya, Deku, Asui, Tokoyami, Aoyama, Shoji, Sero, Ojiro, Kaminari, Kirishima, Jiro, Hagakure, Ashido, Mineta. Yes, I took the time and I planned this all out, kind of. Izuku, he scores way better than in canon, obviously, because in canon he was last place and now he's not. He breaks the top 10, but he obviously doesn't break top 3 like the other guys. Aizawa then says he wasn't actually going to expel anyone, but he just wanted to give motivation to everyone. Then he said, go back to the locker room, get changed. Real school starts when everybody is back in class. Then everybody goes back to class. The day goes on. Deku continues texting Melissa under the desk secretively. Then lunch rolls around. Deku actually sits with Melissa, Mei Hatsume, which would have actually became Melissa's friend, Todoroki, and Tokoyami. Both of them, they kind of just sit with him because they kind of respect how Deku keeps to himself. Once school is over, the same group walks home together. Todoroki, Tokoyami exchange information with Deku just in case, you're kind of quiet, we're kind of quiet. We respect that. Deku and Melissa walk home, neither Kurama nor Inko being home. And he's like, yo, Mel, you trying to take a nap? I'm wiped from school today. We did so much. We had a quirk assessment test, dude. And, that was so annoying. I had to deal with Bakugo. And Melissa's just like, yeah, sure. That sounds nice, but what about the homework that we have to do? They go to his room. He just throws his stuff on the floor. He does not care. Melissa just sitting on the edge of the bed. And she says, she's kind of blushing. And he's just like, dude, homework can wait. He then takes his shoes off and just flops on his stomach. He looks up at her being like, yo, you gonna join? And she's just like, is that and then before she can even finish her sentence, Deku just pulls her down and they start cuddling. They both pass out, waking up a few hours later when Kurama actually walks in, seeing them sleeping, and he's like, hey kids, how was your first day of school? He flicks the light on, blinding them both. And Izuku senses that Kurama isn't mad or he's actually extremely proud. He said somebody was like, yeah, it was pretty good. They had us do an apprehension test without our quirks. It was so wiped, so we took a nap. Don't worry, old man. We'll get the homework done in a few. He stands up, walking over to his closet, throwing his shirt into his laundry basket, putting on a crew neck. Kurama walks out, and then he's like, oh, here you go, Mel. I figured you'd want one of these. It's pretty chilly. So, and he's just like, go ahead and get changed. I should have some pajama stuff in the drawer, or you can just go to your room. Deku then walks out to the bathroom, just taking a shower, closing the door behind him, giving enough time for Melissa to change and doing his own thing. He comes back with his laptop and sees Melissa and disclosing, and he has a slight blush on his face, and he's like, yo, Mel, how about tomorrow after school we go and get some dinner? And Melissa responds are you really asking me out on a date? She's blushing furiously. I'm talking crazy. Face red as a tomato. But she holds enough composure to form a sentence. He walks over to her leaning over, and he's like, what if I am? and her face just like becomes a bright red, and she just falls back on the bed, like squealing. And he's just like, I'll take that as a yes. And then he sits next to her, just like flopping down, just like feet kicking and everything. And he's just like, let's get started on this homework. They then, for the rest of the night, do their homework together, and Melissa goes to her room around like 11 p.m. after finishing all the homework. They both go to sleep respectively. They wake up the next day, they get ready for school. When walking to school, they actually run into Bakugo, who just stays quiet, leaving his headphones in, not even acknowledging them. I mean, they're quote-unquote extras to this man. Like, I do not think he would care. So, they both go to their classes, and Bakugo and Aizawa starts the class off saying that he's not their only teacher. All Might comes bursting through the door like a quote-unquote normal person. Everybody is, like, completely shocked, but Deku, he kind of just fakes it. So he doesn't want to arouse suspicion that he's like a quote-unquote secret love child. All Might's like, well, the clothes make the pros. Everybody, get your hero costumes on and meet me outside. Deku's costume was actually made by Melissa because he wanted to be able to flow easily and be able to give him space to move. If y'all have seen the thumbnail, like he's wearing something similar to that, like with the mask, he's wearing the compression shirt, he's wearing some baggy pants. You know, he's tough. He walks out with hella aura. Like, I'm talking, like, this man is dripped out. Everybody's looking at him like, hey, when did this man get so much aura? Like, what? All Might then explains exactly what's going to be happening. Okay, guys. Hold up, I gotta do my All Might voice. Okay, everybody, draw lots, and I want you guys to meet me upstairs. They all draw lots, the teams being Izuku and Uraraka, Bakugo, Ida. Y'all know the teams. Every team as in canon. So, Team A, which would be, Bakugo, or which would be Deku and Uraraka, which would be a winner. I'm gonna spoil this now. Izuku, using his sensory ability, senses Ida and, like, where the bomb room is. He also sees that Bakugo is just completely raging, and he's trying to find Deku. And Deku's just like, yo, Uraraka, just stay right here. I wouldn't want one of my classmates getting hurt. He then walks up to the wall, like he walks up the wall with like infusing chakra into his he infuses chakra into his feet. And once he finds the bomb room, he just breaks the window open without Ida even noticing. He touches the bomb, and All Might comes over to the intercom. Hero team wins. And Bakugo completely loses his mind. He's like, fight me, you nerd! Why were you ducking the fade? And then after this, Deku just jumps down out of the window, flipping from, like, y'all know, like not an arm bar. Y'all know, like, whenever gymnasts, they, like, do, like, a flip around the bar and they backflip off of it. He does that. He then walks back to the observant room with Uraraka. Bakugo still fuming at the fact that he ducked the fade. Bakugo walks in, he stomps over to Deku, grabbing him by the collar. Why did you duck the fight if you're so powerful now? Huh? You Deku? You useless? And Deku then goes, the purpose of this wasn't to win. The purpose of this wasn't to fight. It was to win. He then smacks his hand off of me. He's like, it wasn't to fight like a mindless ape. The purpose was to win. He then just stares daggers at Bakugo, making him back off, like, don't mess with me, bro. Like, me and you both know, in a real fight, I'm winning 10 times over. The rest of the teams being as they were in canon. Then, after the battle trial, after the mock battles, they go to lunch. Everybody's sitting in their respective groups. Uraraka and Ida actually join Deku, with Todoroki, Tokiyami, Mei, and Melissa. Melissa just sits there holding Deku's arm, like, kind of possessively, like, hey, he's my man. After the classes, the classes just go as normal for the rest of the day, and Deku and Melissa actually go out. Now, they go to an extremely nice steakhouse. Like, I'm talking, like, nice. They're just chatting up, and Bakugo, or not Bakugo, Deku and Melissa just, like, it's vibing, And he's just like, man, this is really nice. How about we go on a walk on the beach, Like, how about we just chill? So they both take their shoes off and they both go on a walk on the beach, and eventually they watch the sunset together. And they sit on Deku brought a blanket, so they lay out the blanket and they lay on it. They look at the sunset and they just sit in each other's company. Then Izuku looks over at Melissa, and they look at each other. And they get to the, Izuku got that. That's all I gotta say. Deku is him. He's got that. He's got it. They go home after a not so long weekend, and they hang out. They have a not so long weekend, and they hang out. They do their coupley business. Not going crazy. Then they go back on Monday, and in class, Aizawa actually mentions how they're going to be having the USJ coming up. They then say, everybody, get your permission slip signed by Friday. The rest of the week is going to go as per usual. The rest of the week just literally going to as usual. Then we have a skip to the day for the USJ. Deku and Melissa, they walk into school and they kiss and they part ways. And Deku walks to class and Aizawa instructs them all to get on the bus. On the bus, everybody talks about who the strongest person is. But Deku kind of just tunes it out, listening to music and texting Melissa. They finally get to the USJ, and immediately at the door, Deku can just feel something is off, but he doesn't really care. They step inside, and Deku immediately senses a signal jamming, and he looks at Aizawa, and right as he's about to tell him, Kirishima interrupts. Whoa, they even have fake villains! Aizawa then jumps down immediately, screaming that they weren't fake. Deku is about to jump after him, but he actually gets warped away by Kurogiri before he can. He activates the chakra on his feet, getting to the top of the water before anything else. He sees Mineta and Stu on the boat, jumping up there with him, and he's like, is anybody else in the water that's in our class? They're like, no. Wait, I forgot how to do the Mineta voice. In the Mineta voice, he's like, no, it's just us. And Stu's just like, yeah, frick, I cannot do it. So, and he's just like, don't get into the water. I'm gonna boil these crabs alive. He then jumps off the boat, reaving one seal, the seal of confrontation. He says, fire release stream! From his mouth, he emits an extremely huge stream of fire that goes straight into the center of the lake. And it almost immediately, on contact, the water begins to bubble and steam. It completely boils the water, and everybody floats up. And then he lands on the water, and he runs to the center with Aizawa. He gets back to back with him, and he's like, kid, what are you doing here? It's unsafe. Go to the top with everyone else. They begin fighting back to back. Like, I'm talking aura. Like, watching all 360 degrees behind him. And, like, it's like, Deku, he just swipes, and he hits a villain while Aizawa's looking at him, and he's just like, well, I'm all you've got health-wise right now. Am I really not better than nothing? And I was always just like, I guess you're right. Then both of them going back to back, they start mollywopping. I'm talking like mollywopping these villains, which ends up even halving the amount of time that it takes Aizawa and Kanon. Shigaraki starts scratching his head. No, this isn't fair. Nomu, kill that brat. The Nomu then immediately rushes at Deku, throwing a massive punch. Deku just barely dodging because he can sense the emotions coming from Shigaraki and he can hear him. Deku jumps back to see the Nomu just completely bum rushing him again, creating more space. He weaves a snake sign saying, Earth release, double suicide, decapitation. He then ducks under the ground, pulling the Nomu underneath, leaving only the head. He then jumps up, backflipping, going back to back with Aizawa. Aizawa, this thing isn't gonna hold so long. It's so weird. It's almost not even human. The Nomu jumps out of the ground almost immediately, infuriating. He lunges at Deku extremely fast. The Nomu punches Deku, like I'm talking, like straight to the ribs. And he gets sent flying into the wall. This leaves an extremely deep crater. Aizawa takes his time of distraction he starts fighting Shigaraki, canceling his quirk, and they just start going band for band with punches. Deku gets up saying, oh, it's game time. His voice sounded like if there was boiling water in his throat. The smoke clears, showing Deku with his mask torn off. His teeth are animalistic. They're crazy. His canines are like protruding out. They're sharper. His nails are completely they're almost claw-like. And he then rushes and his body is covered in an orange aura with a singular tail made out of this aura, and it looks as if it's orange water that's bubbling and boiling and it's falling off of him. He then rushes the Nomu, his speed almost doubled. He digs his claws into the Nomu's brain, clawing at it, the Nomu creating a searing sound like like completely screeching. And it sounds like, do y'all know, I know y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know those like 1,000-degree balls, and it's just like they put it in like styrofoam and it just starts like screaming? That's what you hear. As like from the brain as well. It's just like it's a searing sound. And it's like, or it's like, if y'all have watched like blacksmithing videos, y'all know whenever like, the metal is like red hot and they dip it into the water and it just creates a that's what you hear as well. Then along with the Nomu's huge screech, he flails and flails and flails and flails, trying to get Deku off of him. Deku stays on, digging his claws even deeper and deeper and deeper. After a minute or two, the Nomu completely stops and it falls. Deku, still in this enraged state, rushes at Shigaraki. He punches Shigaraki in the stomach, sending him flying into the wall, leaving an extremely huge crater. And right as he's trying to run again, Kurogiri warps him into the wall, makes a warp gate in front of Izuku, warping him to the wall, knocking him out. And then Kurogiri warps in front of Shigaraki, taking him through a warp gate, and he's like, "You won this time, heroes. But you won't have so much luck next time." And then Deku passes out, or not, and the form disappears. Aizawa walks over to him, checking on him. And we get a scene of Aizawa picking him up and taking him outside and rushing him to the hospital. We have a little bit of a time skip, and we see Deku actually waking up in a hospital bed with Melissa, Kurama, and Inko, all three at his bedside. Thank you all so much for watching part 2 to What If Deku was Kurama's son. I hope y'all are enjoying it. I know I'm enjoying making it. I really hope that you all just love this series, because I intend to make a few more parts of this. Please remember, like and subscribe. Comment what was your favorite part, and comment if you have anything to say. Honestly, I'm here for criticism as well. Thank you all again so much for watching. Remember, subscribe, comment, share it with your friends if they like What Ifs, or if they like MHA, or if they like Naruto. Share it with them, So, again, I just want to say thank you all so much for watching. It has been Jay What Ifs, your favorite What If creator. Peace out, y'all. Have a wonderful day.